Why are NASA astronauts living 60 feet below the surface of the Atlantic off the Florida Keys? Well, it's part of a NASA mission called NEEMO for NASA Extreme Environment Mission Operations. The underwater astronauts, or aquanauts if you will, find the isolated depths of the Atlantic about as close as they can get to spaceflight here on Earth. The crew will spend about 2 weeks in the world's only undersea research station, Aquarius. It's located about 6 miles off the coast of Key Largo. We had the chance to talk to NASA astronaut Serena Onion. What is the most important part of this NEEMO mission?
So there are several important pieces. The first thing is, we're looking at operational techniques that we'll use in the future for exploration class missions. And what that means is, if we go to an asteroid or visit Phobos or the surface of Mars, we've got to know how we're going to perform our sampling, our science, our geology, and have a good idea as to how to order those, mostly because of a large time delay that we'll experience on the surface. If we ask a question to our mission control, it takes 10 minutes to get there and 10 minutes to get back, and then you've got to give them some time in the middle to figure out the answer to your question. And so we've been using this on every one of our water walks or spacewalks that we've done every day, and we realize how autonomous a crew has to be. And you realize how distant you feel from home and how distant you feel from mission control because you don't get that real-time input, unlike the ISS nowadays.
When you were selected as an astronaut candidate, did you ever imagine that you'd be heading below the sea level instead of up into space?
No, I didn't. When I first got selected, I had briefly heard of the NEEMO mission, didn't know what it was about, and then in 2010, I actually went to Antarctica for 2 months as part of a big meteorite mission to search for meteorites. And so I lived on the ice for 2 months out there, which I thought was pretty extreme and a lot of fun and a good analog for the space station. But coming down here to NEEMO, I realized living down here for 2 weeks with the crew is a great analog because you're locked in a small little habitat with 5 other people. And, sharing just a little bit of space that you have, but you're living as a crew and you're performing tasks every day and you have to answer to a ground control team.
What do you miss the most?
Lattes in the morning, cappuccinos. I have to be honest, that's one of my favorite things that my husband and I make in the morning. And so, but you make it work down here. So we have shelf-stabilized milk, something that doesn't need to be refrigerated, and we have a little microwave that actually works, so I can heat up that milk, and we've got a French press, so we can make that coffee and kind of make my own latte down here.
How does the food compare to, I don't know, what they might be having up in the space station, or heck, to airline food?
Well, the food's actually pretty similar to space station. Most of it is freeze-dried, where you just add water and reconstitute it. It's actually pretty good. I wasn't quite sure what to think about the quality, but you've got everything from chicken fajitas to beef stew to chicken salad and scrambled eggs and bacon, and it's not bad. You kind of get used to it after a while. We do have a few things of fresh food, a few pieces of fruit, and on the station they will get that from time to time, not a lot, but a little bit. And so it's definitely different than what we eat at home, but it's pretty good.
How much of the time do you spend exploring outside the habitat, the ocean floor, and what's it look like down there?
So we do spacewalks or water walks every day. At first, we were each doing two-hour spacewalks a day, and now we're up to a 4-hour spacewalk every day. And last night, I did my first night dive outside the habitat. And it's basically a beautiful, beautiful coral reef area. It's a marine sanctuary, of course. Sandy white bottom, coral and sponges everywhere, fish absolutely everywhere, and they're gorgeous. So it's full of life.
I saw a little video clip of you called Hatting the Diver, and that helmet looks huge.
Yeah, it is, and it's actually called the Superlight. But they are formidable. The great thing about it is that whole system, once we put it on, is so redundant. It's awesome. Once you get used to breathing in the mask, it's you're like in your own little spaceship. Once you get out, you can go anywhere.
And I understand you also had an opportunity to wear the Microsoft, what is it called, the Hololens, the virtual environment thing?
That's right, the Hololens. This is something that's on its way to space station. They're going to be using it as another test bed up there. And then when they found out that they could bring it down to NEEMO, they were very excited about that. And been using the Hololens for several things, mostly because you can virtually Skype with somebody. So I look through the glasses and I see the person on the other end, much like I'm looking at you. And they can say, hey, let's do a habitat check today. So I walk out into different areas of the habitat and they say, hey, check this valve, look at this reading, and they can draw arrows and point to things that they see on my end. It's been pretty neat to have that technology down here.
I got to admit that I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the fish right behind you through the porthole there.
It is a neat, there's lots of, so you'll see all kinds of fish, including barracuda, all kinds of stuff out here, and you just got to stop and look. So it's neat windows.
Now, when you're not down there, what are you doing for NASA? What are some of the activities you're involved in?
Well, so waiting for a space flight currently, and in that meantime, you're assigned technical duties in the office. So you're always training. You're continuing training on robotics, space station systems, and performing spacewalks the way NASA does it in our big neutral buoyancy lab. Since I'm also a doctor, though, I help out with the new commercial crew vehicles and review medical requirements for both of the companies, for SpaceX and for Boeing. So a lot of my time's been involved with that as well.
I know here along the Space Coast, we're definitely looking forward to the commercial crew programs and Orion as well. What are the possibilities you might be involved in some of those as an astronaut?
I don't know whether or not I'll ever fly. You know, at this point, we just kind of wait for your flight assignment and you're happy with whatever you get. But I will say we are very excited, too, to see us launch from the United States again. That's what everybody's waiting for. And so it's been neat to see these vehicles continue to develop, and you see us getting closer and closer to manned flight.
Well, we thank you very much for your time. And how much longer will you be down there now?
So today is mission day 9, and we will be surfacing on August 2nd. So full 2-week mission.
For WFIT, I'm Rick Lasby.